Right. Coming to section C, question 26 asks us to predict the output of this question. Text is IND 23 and text 2 is so, an empty string. So why I is less than the length of text 1, which is IND 23, and if text of I is greater than 0 and less than 9, val is equal to integer of this. But the first is n, right? So n is between this, so we just have to print n at the position value of n plus 1 of I plus 1. So that is n going to be n here. So the first letter becomes n. Okay, next it says simply n ka it's going to be d because it's just printing the positional value by incrementing it by 1. And then it says that for d it's going to be definitely dash because as we can see from the pattern here, we just have to print 1 above. But when we come to 23, we know that it's a number, so what this basically just does is it prints the integer of the that positional value. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 3. So over here this one becomes 3 and this is increased by 1 every time, right? Because it says val equal to val plus 1. So initially even if it was 2 it becomes 3, and if it was 3 it becomes 4. So that is the answer to this question. Moving on to section D. Okay, so this asks us to differentiate between R plus and W plus file modes. This is actually been covered in 11th as well. So let me go over this quickly. So the primary function is reading, and for the R plus mode, and the file pointer is at the beginning of the file. And if the file doesn't exist, it results in an error in the W plus mode. And for the W plus mode, the primary function is writing, and if the file doesn't exist, it creates a new file. So this is pretty much it for differentiating between this. I'll go over this later. Okay, I would like to go over one another question. Um okay, so question number 28. Let's go over this. It basically says that we have to write a function to read a text file called alpha.txt and display these lines which begin with the word u. And we have to write a function vowel count which displays the number of vowels in the text file named ports.txt. So what we can do for the first part, I'll just show the answer to this question. Okay, so going over this question, first we'll define a function called test. The first object we just open it and we open it in the read mode, the file which is called alpha.txt. Then we write a variable called data which takes f object 1 and it simply just reads lines or reads those lines. Then we check for every character or for every line which is present in the data, the line is equal to line dot split. Now if L of 0 or the first word that double equals u or that simply means that equals u, then we just print that line. And finally, we go over that object and we close it. Moving to the next part, what we do is we define the vowel count. Then the f first object opens the file alpha.txt in the read mode. Then data takes the string of the object.read. Count is taken as 0. Then for every character which is present in this data, if the character is basically in the vowels, then the count plus equals 1 and we simply print the count. This is very similar to taking the count taking the number of vowels present in a sentence, which we covered in class 11. So I'm sure this will be very easy to understand. Then we simply close the file f object.